As 2017 unfolds, there will be many changes occurring relating to the government due to the new president coming in. That is why we believe addressing the significance of keeping relationships with other countries is very important. Being able to trade and manufacture in other countries is crucial to keep support from other nations and be able to obtain resources we use in our everyday life. Although President-elect Trump believes we should declare independence because it has led us to financial disasters, we believe it is crucial to keep these bonds in order to have a thriving society. Becoming an independent country would not be very efficient since it would only cut communication, causing misunderstandings and lead to horrific consequences like a war. Maintaining current relations with other nations is also important because it is a good way to obtain resources we use in our daily life. U.S. exporters gain a lot from selling a great amount of goods, and imports to America provides residents with more choices at lower prices.
I think it's probably the most important priority that our government can have. It's the number one thing. It's we can't go backwards, right? The world is getting smaller and smaller, and relationships that we have with other countries we need to improve. And the one thing that we do have in common is that we all want to have a higher socioeconomic future. Religion and other beliefs aside, that is the one thing that we all have in common. And through trade and opening up of markets, I think it's important for all people in the world to do well and to increase their standard of living together, and not just the upper 1% or half of 1%, and everyone else is considered a have-not. That causes only major problems in areas like violence and wars and things like that.
But trade is generally a very easily demagogued issue. Politicians love to distract the voters from the issues, their own failures to adopt policies that help the economy grow. It's so much easier to blame foreigners, their products, foreign companies. Donald Trump is very good at tugging at this economic nationalist string where trade is portrayed as this competition between Team America and Team China or Team Mexico, where exports are America's points and imports are the foreign team's points. And the trade account is the scoreboard, and we have a trade deficit. So by God, we're losing at trade. And we're losing, of course, because the foreign team is cheating. That resonates. It's wrong. The trade deficit is in no way a proper measure of the success of trade policy. And then to get to some of the points that Lori was making, I mean, trade, there's this myth out there that trade only benefits rich corporations and rich Americans, the 1%. Trade is disproportionately beneficial to smaller companies relative to large companies because
The U.S. government currently has support from trade partners and allies, which we depend on for resources traded used in our daily lives. According to the balance, the United States is the world's largest importer and third largest exporter. This means that most of the things we use are manufactured in other countries. Although Trump believes we should manufacture all of our goods in the U.S. because of the jobs being taken, there are many benefits of manufacturing in other countries. As an analysis made by the Heritage Foundation, they found that over 500,000 American jobs are supported by imports of clothes and toys from China alone, including jobs like transportation, wholesale, retail, construction, and finance. In addition, being able to manufacture in other countries allows us more choices at a lower price, and import competition improves the quality of the goods received. This is because having people working as manufacturers in America would be more costly since labor laws protect workers with certain rights which in other countries don't exist. For example, working hours, minimum wage, pay, regulation, and so on. Adding or altering tariffs with trade partners would only make these countries want to stop taking in our exports or buying from the U.S., which would put us in financial struggles. That is why we need to make sure these bonds are kept, which also benefit us by preventing wars, having allies to support our country and help our community grow more efficiently and costly learning.
Well, they won't like it. Um, they rely heavily. We're the largest consumer of goods the world has ever seen. I mean, it's such a distance between us and the next country of consumers that we buy a lot of stuff, and that helps their economies, which helps their governments, which helps their standard of living, which means you don't have the poor people rising up and taking over in bloody revolutions elsewhere. Um, I think that's what our role is. And again, we need to make sure that it's open both ways, that we can also provide them with high quality goods here. So yes, do I want it both? I do want it both. I want us to produce good quality goods that manufacture good quality items that other people need. I want to be able to ship those elsewhere for them to consume, as well as I want to buy what they have to offer too to help them out.
In Trump's speech at Monosan, Pennsylvania, he addressed his plan to change global trade rules. He believes we should become an independent country because other nations are driving us to financial disasters. In addition, he says we should manufacture in America because by manufacturing in America, there would be more jobs and less unemployed people in the United States. Obviously, we think otherwise, whereas focusing on those low quality jobs would not really benefit the people of our country, in addition to taking away jobs of those who work as importers or exporters. Furthermore, with technology advancing, these jobs would sooner or later become automated, leaving those people without jobs. Like we mentioned before, we believe maintaining these bonds with other countries will help us strive as a society and keep our economy stable.